Hey everybody, Mel here, VA3 FDG. Um, just wanted to go live this evening. Probably gonna cry quite a bit during this, but I wanted to go live because I think it's important on the anniversary, especially to talk about and celebrate and honor and remember the namesake for my call sign. And just talk about why I chose my call sign and why I directly tied it to my baby girl. Just to honor her because she more than deserves it. It's really hard to believe that it's been a year. It's really hard to believe it's been a year. Just 1 second. Today's been a long day. For those of you that are new to my channel, and I know there's a lot of you, I got licensed in 2024. And I had initially gotten involved and interested in ham radio a couple years prior at least, through a friend and who was a ham, and we just bonded over our mutual love of planes, and then one thing kind of led to another, and suddenly I got interested in ham radio. So and that's the fact that my radio club at the time, my present radio club that I'm a member of, but I don't live anywhere near anymore, which I really, really miss because, yeah, but I really loved my ham, being at the club even before I was a ham, because it was so close to the airport in London. It's like right near the runways for YXU, which is perfect for me because I love watching planes like all day, every day. I could watch planes. And being able to do that and then play radio at the same time, it's just perfect. Um, but when I was going about trying to navigate, becoming a ham, I heard about, oh, you got to pick your call sign. And I heard a lot of people in my club that were like, yeah, you got to pick a call sign that's, personal to you. And I mean, it's not required, but most people do because they want something that, relates to them or is, unique to them. Not only is their call sign unique, but it's also unique to them in terms of a namesake. And just spitballing one day, I was talking to one of my friends and who is also a ham, and I was just like, hey, I wonder if I could find, I wonder if, because I tried all the things that I was interested in. I tried WWE, I tried SVU because I love Law and Order SVU. I tried so many things that had to do with me. I even tried my name, like MEL, because everybody knows me as Mel. So I was like, oh, that would have been perfect. But I kept going through, and like, a bunch of them weren't. And I wonder if I had the list somewhere. I probably erased it, but I had like a list, and it was so long of just possible call signs. And I was just like, you know what? What about one? Because I love my cat, and so I was like, you know what? Let's try for FDG because her name was Fudge, and I was like, you know what? Let's see how this goes. And so like, and I wanted VA3. I didn't want VE3. I wanted VA3 because VA3 just kind of rolled off the tongue a little bit better, and plus it just sounded cooler. I'm weird like that. Like VA3 FDG just kind of sounded cooler than VE3 FDG. Not saying anything bad about VE3 FDG and whoever has it, because I believe it's taken. And I didn't even check VE3. Like I wanted VA. Like just because most of my friends were VA. I had a few VE friends, but like I wanted VA. I was like, cool. Not only because it's easier to say phonetically, Victor Alpha is a lot easier to say phonetically than Victor Echo, to me at least. But I was just like VA3, and I was like, what about FDG? And it just kind of stuck in my head. And I broke the cardinal rule. You're not supposed to get your heart set on a call sign as you're taking the course and studying for your ham license. Not supposed to get your heart set on one because they get they go in and out of circulation so often. But like I kept checking. I was like kept checking. VA3 FDG is still available. And I figured that's perfect because my cat was my life. Cat is my life even now. And I was like, you know what, that'd be a great way to not only, honor her permanently, and she was still alive before I got licensed. So I was like, I'm going to honor her because I knew eventually she was going to pass away. I knew it was, an eventuality. And so I just was like, you know what? This will be perfect because it would be my way to honor her because my cat was my life. She was my ride or die. She is my ride or die. She's still with me. And I was like, anybody that knew me at the time was like, you say Mel and Fudge comes to mind because my cat was everything in my life. Like everything that I would do in my life in the past 15 years, my cat was a part of it. I, would never do it. Like I have turned down, like I've had to, make decisions based on the fact that I involved my cat, and good or bad or indifferent, I have no regrets whatsoever because my cat is my life. And I she's my life. And so I was like, you know what? FDG, perfect. So perfect. And I was slightly bummed that like a few of the other ones weren't available, but I was like, you know what? Let's do FDG. And it was perfect because FUDGE. So it was pretty much most of her name anyway. So it was just perfect. So luckily the day I did my exam, I wrote it twice in one day because I studied really hard for it, and like taking the exam, I blanked so hard. And luckily the examiner was kind enough to say, you know what, let's try and let's do a retake, and we'll submit that too, just so you get it and you're good. Because I didn't pass, so I didn't get even basic. So I was like, I did all this work. I went, and I was going through so much outside of the course. So I was like, this is just one thing I want to do. If there's one thing in the past 5 years now that I can say I'm proud of, that I've actually accomplished, that I set my heart to, and that I set my mind to, and that I accomplished, it was getting my ham license. And that is one thing that I will always be proud of myself for. And so grateful to everybody in my club and outside of my club that's been super helpful and just has been super, gracious and accommodating, because I've been a basket case outside of the court, outside of things, because of outside circumstances. But yeah, and the whole time I had the call sign website, the available call sign list bookmarked on like everything, my phone, my Chromebook. And like the day I took my exam, I'm getting my write-in to write the exam with a friend of mine who was also in the course. And I'm checking the site. I was like, okay, put in VA3 FDG. Oh, it's still available. Okay, cool. So the exam was like 2 hours, and then like I didn't pass the first time. No big deal. I can rewrite it at any time, whatever. So I rewrote it, and I got 90. What did I get? You know what? I'm going to go. I did a bunch of clean plastic, not paying the price for it. It's my body. I just found this. I just found it. Where did I put it? I literally just found it the other day. Where did I put it? Oh, I got 98. Oh my god. Okay. So I got 98. Yeah, 98%. So basic with honors. So I checked the site and I'm like, FDG is available. So I claimed it right then and there. And here's the interesting part. So here in Canada, when in December, yeah, I was licensed as of December 11th, 2024. So, and we were in the midst of a Canada Post strike. So me getting my physical license, both the big one and the small one, like the card-sized one, which hasn't left my wallet ever since. It wasn't going to be a possibility for me to get it because Canada Post is on strike, so there was no mailing happening at all. Not even like government mail, which really sucked. So I waited it out. I was like, okay, and to get on QRZ, which is one of the ham radio sites where people can look you up and whatever, you had to have your license or whatever. So I literally contacted ICE by email. I was like, hey, so I'm trying to get this set up and I just need like confirmation of some sort that I'm licensed, what my license is, blah, 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 blah. So ICE had sent me that and I screenshot it but I screenshot that it was from ICID so that there was no like, oh, you doctored it. No, it's from ICID. And I sent that. So that was my confirmation for like QRZ and a few other things. Once I got my physical license, I, took a picture of it and sent it to them. I was like, hey, just sending you my actual license now that I have it. Because I explained to them, like, we kind of have a Canada Post strike, so I'm not going to get my physical license. So I really don't want to wait until they finally get past this strike to be able to do all ham stuff. So, got BA3, FDG, awesome. And I was so happy. I was so excited. And if you look in my my profile picture for this account, it's actually me. I think it's me holding my. Yeah, it's me holding a radio and my license when I finally got it in the mail. In the frame that my roommate and friend and fellow ham got for me. So that photo was taken on January 6th. It was taken on January 6th of 2025. And I was so happy to finally get like the physical, copy of my license. I already had my license, of course, because as soon as you register your call sign, you're licensed. So even though it was a formality to get the physical, I was very excited to get the physical embodiment of my license. And of course, I got a new LARC badge when I got licensed. This has got the sticker for this year. It had 2024 to 2025, but now it has 2025 to 2026. I still have my SWL one too. I'm keeping that. Yeah, so Canada Post strike ends at the end of December, I think, just before Christmas. I think it ended in 2024. January 6th, 2025, I get the physical license in the mail. I'm very excited. And, the fact that the namesake was the main reason behind the excitement. Because I'm like, I can now have something permanently that is in honor and memory of Fudge, because I knew at some point she would pass away. And I remember that night taking pictures with her with this, minus the sticker, the 2024, the 25 that's underneath. Took pictures of her with the sticker, or with this, and literally 24 hours later, she was gone. Of course, I posted all over social media about it. So today on Facebook, because Facebook memories has just been Fudge, which I don't mind, because Fudge was all over my social media anyways. So like, she's in my YouTube, like my main YouTube channel, in so many videos. But literally the next morning, I was awoken by my friend and roommate and fellow ham, because she was having difficulty breathing and she was very sluggish. She was 15 years old, so it was, inevitable that she would pass at some point, but I just didn't expect that, like, 24 hours after I got my physical license in my hands, that the namesake would be gone. Like, I knew eventually she would pass, but I was not expecting it to come so soon. And Was not expecting it to happen so soon after, let alone 24 hours later, less than 24 hours later. But I wanted to do this live because I want to try and do this every year. Because I think it's important to always honor her, especially since she's the namesake for my call sign. I know she's not entirely I know this isn't entirely ham related, but it's the namesake for my call sign, so it's ham related somewhat. There's 7 degrees of separation. I want to show you the picture I was talking about earlier. Actually, it's probably my memories. Go to my memories. Eventually, at some point, I want to. I'm going to share my screen just so I can. So this is the picture that I took the night before she passed. As I said, with my badge, with the 2024, like I said, it's not the same badge, just since I renewed my membership, they put a sticker on top of the, yeah. So that's my namesake. It was literally before she passed. One of my favorite pictures. One of the last pictures I took of her. Her face. She was so my cat too. Like she had a permanently unimpressed face. And one of the first pictures I have of her, when I first got her as a kitten. I'm so glad she grew into her ears. One of my favorite pictures of her. One of the first pictures I got of her when I brought her home. Miss that face. That's the last picture I ever took of her. I think it's cropped from the actual picture, but yeah, because I cropped out her treats. Yeah, there's another one of me. My baby girl. I'll always treasure this picture. Always. Yeah. I'm gonna find her album. Hold on. Because of course I created an album. My baby girl. I have an entire album of just her. And I want to do this every year because I think she deserves it. Yeah. Little baby Fudge. She actually loved that spot. I was always so worried that she would, because she had the blanket right above. That was a dumb decision looking back to have the catheter right there, but she fortunately never fell. My Rascal Flat sweater. She never liked her picture getting taken. Oh, she was so permanently unimpressed. That's one of the cutest photos ever. This is my namesake for my call sign. She was so tiny when I got her. I got her when she was 4 or 5 months old. She was my little baby girl. Oh. That face. I miss her so much. And I already had an album of her, I think. I had an album of her. And I added to it when she passed. My baby girl. She loved that Oilers blanket. She really loved that Oilers blanket. She loved that Oilers blanket, man. It was her favorite blanket. I can't even play Xbox without thinking of this picture. She was the best gaming buddy. She loved that Oilers blanket. Permanently unimpressed. Oh, my Thunder Buddy. My Thunder Buddy for life. Oh, permanently unimpressed. Oh. Oh. She loved that ottoman, man. She loved it. Yeah, she loved that ottoman. I had to vacuum that ottoman so often. Oh, my baby girl. That's one of my favorite pictures. wearing that sweater the day she passed. Fudge with the Pudge, she had the nickname of. Namesake for my call sign, everybody. Oh, I can't believe how much she fit into that little bed. Another one of my favorite pictures. I'm gonna get a collage made of her that I can put up in the apartment here. I miss that coat, man. That coat was awesome. She was so my cat. Oh, she used to love watching the birds. It's funny because when I moved here, I knew I was going to be on the second floor. I'm like, oh, well, if Fudge was here, it would kind of suck for her because she wouldn't be able to watch the main floor. Really unimpressed. Oh, I miss that face. Oh, I forgot about this one. One of the best photos. And I'll never, like, even when I moved here 6 months ago, I every time I've had to move when she's been with me, she would hide out in the bathroom for like the first week. And it was, even when I brought her home the first time, she just hung out in the bathroom. And every time I'd have to move, she'd hang out in the bathroom. So when I moved here, I kept just by habit, I kept the bathroom door open. Not that I couldn't anyways, but I kept the bathroom door open. Because, I wanted to, just honor her in that way. Cause she'd always hang out in the bathroom for like the first week whenever I moved somewhere. And it was always fun. She made I miss her every day for that. That's one of my favorite pictures of her. That face. Oh, fudgies, I miss that face. And after she passed, I went back and looked over old videos, and whenever I was going through stuff, she'd, meow, meow, just saying that she was there, and I miss that so much. When she would constantly lay on top of me so I couldn't move. Oh, my baby girl. Oh, when she used to sun herself. That's one thing I think she would do before I got blackout curtains, so she couldn't do that anymore. Oh, that face. I probably have duplicates in this folder, but I really don't like. She really did like red blanket too, that red comforter. But she loved that Oilers blanket. It was her favorite blanket. And I had a smaller one, like a smaller throw on my bed. And story time a little bit. I would always sleep on my love seat, and she'd always sleep on my bed. But I would literally just wash the throw blanket. Like I washed my bedding or whatever. I would make it all up and make it all pretty, and then I'd put the throw blanket down, and within a half hour, it would be covered in her. It's the namesake of my call sign, y'all. Like, this is why she's the name. This is why she is the namesake of my call sign. She loved that Oilers blanket. My thunder buddy. And we've had thunderstorms. We've had thunderstorms since she's passed, and it just hasn't been the same. She was my thunder buddy, and she will be my thunder buddy for life. I remember taking this picture. I remember this so much, so vividly. I remember it so vividly. Maybe that's what I should do. I should get a mug with her name on it. Yeah, this is the throw blanket. And I think this picture is from a post I put up on Facebook. Like, I had literally just cleaned it. She's already got her hair all over it. Oh, my baby girl. I miss that face. literally had just finished cleaning all that. Oh, miss that face. I miss cleaning her eye crappies. Like, every time I clean mine, I always like think of her. Because I always had to clean her eye crappies. And every time I even say eye crappies, I just get choked up a little bit. When I was doing Pokemon Go. Oh. Yeah, she was the best cuddle buddy. And see? The Oilers blanket. Love that Oilers blanket. And then I got a third. I have four Oilers blankets now. Her favorite one and three throw blankets. And during COVID, she was my best friend. I mean, she was my best friend before and after, but I got so annoyed by me because I was around so much more often during COVID. Yeah, this is the namesake of my call sign, everybody. And I'm honoring her because she passed away a year ago today, so. Oh, that face. She really didn't like the flash of my camera. Not that I blame her, because, I don't like flash on camera either, but yeah. I would just constantly take pictures of her. Resting bitch face. Her permanently unimpressed face, and that's why she was my cat, because oh, I think these are getting into the later ones. These I took the night before she passed. And this was after a conversation I had with her when I said, you know what, you've been wrong long enough for me. Like, it's okay. I know you haven't been doing well, and I know you're getting old and you're fighting so hard, but you don't have to anymore. Literally, the next morning she was gone. I'll always treasure these photos, especially that one. It's one of my favorite last photos of her. And I always made sure to have my hand on her paw. Even the day she passed, I had my hand on her paw. And this is when she didn't like the lanyard, as you can see. Couple pictures. I wanted to get a couple pictures of her with my badge, especially after I had officially gotten my license, like, formally. I had no idea taking these pictures. I literally had no idea. I didn't think she'd be gone that soon after. I mean, I thought I gave her permission to go, but I didn't think she'd go so quickly. And, yeah. And she always was so calm when I had my hand on. Oh, I love that picture. Baby girl. Oh. Very similar to one of the photos I got of her. Yeah, I disturbed her when I cleaned her eye crappies. Yep. The last pictures I took of her. Of course, these are old. That face. I added these later from other posts, but I saved them and put them in the album. So this collection is from the night before I had to give her to a friend because I was going back into a shelter. So, of course, I always took pictures of her. So, yeah, there's some duplicates in here, but I really don't care. That was at my friend's house. That was just after I got her back. Or no, that was 2021. 2021 or 2022. Miss that face. Miss that face. Like I said, she'd hang out. It's just after I got her back. Show her the same way. I miss that face. I miss that face so much. Her face never really changed. It was always kind of the same face. Some of these are really old photos. My baby girl. She was always so pretty. Even though she was permanently unimpressed with her photo being taken. I mean, I always managed to catch her mid yawn sometimes. It was always so fun. She loved that ottoman. I was at my friend's place. Yeah, some of these are duplicates, but I really don't care because there's such good photos of her. Yeah, these from the night before I went back into a shelter. And she went with a family member for a bit. So we were separated for about a few months. And then my family member had to give her back because they were moving. So I was able to get them a friend of mine in town at the time. So I was still able to visit her, but it just wasn't the same. And I look forward to those monthly visits so much. Yeah, some of these photos I hadn't seen in years. That face. The namesake for my call sign, everybody. She passed a year ago today. See, she really loved that Oilers blanket. Permanently unimpressed with the eye crease. I'm wearing a tank top in these photos, just so people know. I think that's 2021, 2022. Yeah. That was Christmas 2024. That was 2020. Like I said, these are all compiled from like different posts over the years. So one of my favorite pictures of her. So these are stills from a documentary I was a part of. It's on YouTube somewhere. I should really try and find it again. And it wasn't until after she passed I was like, I'm gonna find that documentary again, because I knew she made an appearance in it, and watching the video just made me cry. Yeah, I didn't put sound to this, so the whole segment with her. That was not long after I got her either. I think that's after I got her. Oh, my girl. Well, that's the last. Yeah, that was it's a fun little walking lane. And you guys have seen my Facebook, so if you want to add me there, feel free. I'm not going to add everybody because I tend to keep my Facebook very private nowadays. But yeah, I just wanted to go live and after she passed, I wanted to try and get as much stuff with my call sign on it as possible. I mean, when I got licensed, I was already planning on getting stuff with my call sign on it, because that's what hams do. We get as soon as we get licensed, we put our call sign on everything. But yeah. Yeah, I have like a thumb drive of all my, and I'm still finding photos and stuff of Fudge that I'm putting all on one thumb drive. Because I eventually want to get them all printed off and get a couple in a frame or a collage frame and put it up. But yeah, I wanted to go live, and I want to do this every year. Because you guys want to know about me and my call sign. My namesake is part of that. So the namesake of my call sign is part of that. And unfortunately, she passed away a year ago today. And I'm going to try and honor her by going live every year on the anniversary. I would go live on her birthday every year, but it's 9/11. So I want to give that day to people for obvious reasons. because of obvious world events that have happened on that date. But this year, I want to honor her in my ham life more so than I probably have been able to in the past year. Because, like I said, I was a basket case outside of getting my license because I had a lot of life stuff going on and still did. Even like the day she passed, I was, and I think that's why it's so hard even now, is because she was the one source of stability I had. And yeah. So yeah, she was my one source of stability that I had all that time. So but this year I want to honor her by doing more with my ham license and being in a rural community. Presents a lot of possibilities, but there's not a day that goes by that I don't think of her. And I couldn't even use my call sign just after she passed. It was just too much. I took quite a hiatus when she passed because I, even just trying to say my call sign, I just lose it. But I've gotten to a point now where I can use it and also just kind of, smile. But I'm sorry to kind of break from ham related stuff on this channel, but the namesake of my call sign deserves to be honored. So this is probably what I'm going to do every year, is just go live and talk about her and just reminisce. 15 years, that cat was my life. That cat is my life. Like, even now, she's my life. Like, I was talking to some friends earlier, and even now when I come in, I hear the meow that she would always greet me with when I'd walk in the door. And by default, when I come in, every time I go to my room, go to my bed where her favorite Oilers blanket is. Because that was always the first thing I would do, is greet her when I got home. And I try not to feel guilty, because signing paperwork to have her euthanized was the hardest thing I've done, and I've done a lot of hard things in my life. It's probably been one of the hardest. Actually, that was the hardest, because it meant that I was putting an end to what was inevitable anyways, and especially with her health having declined so much in the last little bit that she was alive, especially as exponentially as she did within 24 hours. And the medication that would have kept her alive was just going to be way too expensive, and I didn't want to put a band-aid on her pain or suffering. So, and I know that's probably going to get And that's gotten a lot of backlash from some people. And a lot of people are like, oh, well, blah, blah, blah. People are telling me, oh, I, euthanized her because I couldn't afford to keep her alive, blah, blah, blah. No, it had everything to do with the fact that keeping her alive when she was obviously in pain and suffering, just to keep her medicated for the rest of her life, it just is cruel, like selfishly, I would have done anything to keep her alive. But I didn't want to prolong her suffering because she was obviously in pain and she was obviously suffering and she was obviously just ready to go. And having to reconcile that has yeah, I'm good. Sorry, one of my ham friends is just checking in with me because my club knows that, I shared it not long after she passed that she had passed, and they knew the reason for my call sign. So they're just checking in with me because they're awesome people. In the AM. Oh, good Lord. Okay. No, as much as I feel guilty for signing that paperwork and basically putting the process in place to have her cross the Rainbow Bridge, I don't regret it. I mean, there's part of me that wishes she was still here, of course. The amount of, with everything that she was with me through. And I've told this story before. I don't know if I've told it on this channel, but I know I've told it on my main channel. But one of the hardest things that's been hard to reconcile is because we moved a lot from 2021 to 2025, because situation, and we had been in the last place that we were in for almost a year, and I had promised her, because I didn't plan on moving again. I didn't plan on moving so much in those 4 years, but it was a more stable environment that I moved to, so there was no probability of having to move. So I was like, okay, well, the next time we move, and I have to put her in that carrier because she hated that carrier so much, as most cats do and most dogs do. I made a promise to her, the next time she would be in that carrier, we would be getting into housing, stable long-term housing. Because I knew how much it stressed her out, and I didn't want to keep putting her through that. And I had to break that promise a year ago, because that next time was to go to the emergency vet. And then 4 months later, I get a phone call saying, hey, we got housing for you. And the first thing I thought of was Fudge. I was like, if you're still here, we'd be moving. into housing, and I would have been able to keep my promise. So that's been one thing that has been hard to reconcile. But at the same time, I'm kind of glad things happened the way they did, because with housing came a change in budget, a change in resources, a change in scenery. And I don't know if she were to pass after we moved here, I could live here. Because it'd be hard. There'd be so many memories attached to this place if she was to pass after we moved here. So in a way, I'm kind of glad she passed when she did. Because I don't think I could, like, I'm obviously not able to handle it, period. But, like, it would just be harder knowing after so long of waiting to get housed and getting housed and then having her pass away. It would be really difficult. And I know I sound really selfish saying that, but it's true. But she's still with me in so many ways, and I think it was a week or so after she passed, I got a bracelet with a paw on it. I got a keychain because I was like, when and if I get housed, she's going with me. And when I got that phone call that they had housing for me and everything, like, the day I went to move in here, I had to go sign paperwork and get the keys and whatever. I so proudly put those keys on that keychain. And so she's with me all the time. She's with me all the time. Like, even now, I'm washing clothes and I'm still finding her hair. And I probably always will, because she was all over everything. Like, I could never wear black clothing around her. Like, even my sofa cover, I don't have any, like, pets or anything. And, nobody that comes here brings their pets with them, but I have pet hair. I'm like, that's Fudge. Because it's probably coming off the clothing I've been wearing, because cat hair just doesn't seem to go away. But, yeah, it's, I keep forgetting that my Chromebook shows me what my texts say. I'm gonna get back to them after. I can't believe it's been a year. And like I said earlier, we were separated for a little bit in the past 4 years. We were permanently separated for a few months there because my family member lived in a different town than I did at the time. But after she moved back closer to where I was, because I had a friend in the city I was in that was able to take her in. Thank you. Because I was not going to give her up to a shelter. Forget it. Like, I may have been going through my own stuff, and I was going back to a shelter. I wasn't about to put my cat in one. But and that was I thought that was the toughest thing I'd been through. But And that's one thing that some people have told me. It's like, well, you're separated from her for like a year and a bit. I'm like, yeah, but I knew at the end of it that we'd be back, you know? Now that isn't the case. So glad I have counseling tomorrow. I'm probably just gonna trauma dump on my poor counselor tomorrow. Because I keep telling people, I'm like, I still hear her. When I come in, I hear the meow. The same meow that would always greet me, even when we were renting rooms from 2021 to 2025. I'd come in the door of even the room and she'd meow to greet me. So, but yeah, I plan to do this every year on the anniversary because, yeah, me and Sevens just don't get along. January 7th, February 7th, we don't get along. At least it wasn't in February. Me and February just do not get along. And that's, if you know, you know. But yeah, I wanted to honor my namesake for my call sign's namesake, and the anniversary of her passing is no better chance to do it. So, and I will try and do this every year on this day. It's never going to get easier. Still feels like it was yesterday or today. But yeah, so plus this gives an opportunity for you guys to get to know me a little bit about kind of person I am and why my call sign means so much to me. My call sign will always mean the world to me. It meant the world to me when I got licensed before she passed, and this is exactly why I chose this call sign, because I knew eventually she would pass, and it was my way of keeping her with me. So she's with me for life. And at some point in the next couple of years, not to be all morbid and stuff, but I really want to write up a will, and I want to include what instructions on what to do with my call sign. It's going to be weird for the next person that has my call sign. I should look up the history of my call sign, see if anybody else has had it in the history of call signs. But if anybody happens to know, leave it in the comments, because I would love to know. Because I know some call signs have been made available due to silent keys lately in the last year, in my club and other clubs especially. So I'm very curious. So that's definitely something I'm going to look into, because, yeah. But, yeah, today's been a rough day. Started off, I didn't even go to bed, till, I don't even know what time I went to bed. My phone will tell me, because my watch was on my wrist when I finally went to bed. But I was cleaning early this morning. I think I overdid it, because my body is feeling it. Because this winter I haven't been too active, because the weather has been kind of nuts. And being in a rural community, kind of hard to get out and about when it's like this. So, but yeah, I'm probably going to get some more exercise tomorrow, because I got to go into a larger town for appointments and such. But and I plan on weather permitting, making it to London Amateur Radio Club to stop in for Winter Field Day in a couple weekends. Maybe do some logging, but yeah, and I hope the weather cooperates in the next couple weeks so I can start live streaming the nets again. Yeah, so anyways, guys, I'm going to sign off here. I'm going to go have a shower, maybe a bath. I don't know. I have to be up for my appointment tomorrow, so. Oh, hic burps. They're the worst. Hiccup/burps. They're the worst. Do not recommend. But yeah, so hopefully this gives you guys, gals and people, little insight into why my call sign means so much to me, and the namesake for my call sign, and why it's important to me. And yeah, see you guys soon. Happy New Year, and see you soon.